Hey guys, I just want to teach you guys today a little bit about live sound. With the equipment that what I have here, I mean, it's just a simple little setup. It's actually really not really a live sound setup, I would say. Just a small little practice setup. We have two monitors, a mixer, a bit of a input signal. But yeah, let's get started. Um, let's start with a little bit of signal flow, just where it starts. So just to begin, we have a mic input. Then we have a line input, which is going to give us some line level from any instrument, like a guitar. Other than that, we have the high pass filter switch, which is going to cut any low frequencies from 75 hertz then below. And then we have the preamp gain, which is going to just set our initial level. Scrolling down, we have our equalizer, just a standard one, 3-band, just going to boost or cut any high, low, or mid frequencies. Next, we just have our auxiliary sends, pre mostly being for headphones and post being mostly for effects. Next, we just have our pan knob, which is just going to be useful for changing the stereo field of whatever channel we're using. After that, we have our mute and solo buttons. Solo just to, just hear that one track, and mute to just uh, take that track out from the mix completely. So after we already set some levels on the channel fader, we're going to just see the main outs, which is going to be from the alternative 3 out to there. But yeah, that should be just the last part of gain staging there, other than the control room monitor. But yeah, so let's just take a look at the outs now. We have the alternative 3 out, we have the main mix out, and the control room out. Just main mix, that would be your main monitors. Control room out, that would be maybe real monitors for your musicians. Alternative 3 out, just extra outs. Okay, now that we know a little bit more about signal flow and how it works and then how it's all going through the board, let's just test out a mic and see how it works. As you can see, I have monitors really close to me, so it's going to be really easy to get feedback, especially in a little room like this. So let's just see. Testing, testing. Yep, pretty loud there. Let me just show you a little bit about how feedback works. I mean, it's basically the input of the signal getting routed back to the output, or the output going into the input. You know, it's basically a loop. So yeah, that's not good. So one thing you kind of want to make sure whenever you're doing live sound is that no one's pointing their mic straight at the speaker, which usually doesn't happen. But there's another thing that kind of people don't forget is that when with mics, it's usually it's kind of cardioid. So no matter where they're pointing at, even the back is actually catching as well. So even though they're aiming at their face and the speaker or their monitor, their stage monitor is pointing at the other way, it can actually also affect it as well. Or they're really next to the speaker as well, the monitors. So that's the problem I kind of see a lot in a lot of small venues. It's kind of hard not to aim a mic at the speaker because it's kind of right next to them. So that's kind of one thing I notice. Okay, besides miking, we have we have this regular 1/8-inch aux cable. You see, people use them in their cars a lot. It's using an adapter, which I'm not really much of a fan of. These 1/4-inch adapters are just kind of not really reliable. I mean, people use them for their headphones on their interfaces and a lot, and I mean they're really just they don't sound good. Let me give you an example. Okay, so I connected the 1/4-inch adapter into here, and it's gonna go out to my phone instead of how I had it before. But let me just show you how the signal sounds. Okay, now let me show you how it sounds like with, well, not that 1/8-inch adapter, with a straight 1/8 inch to RCA into 2-track. So yeah, just like I said, it's not really that much of a reliable source. I mean, uh, some people rely on it because it's the only thing they have, but I mean, in general, I just kind of I don't trust anything that's not soldered onto the cable. It just something that you just kind of connect like that isn't really reliable to me. And especially if I'm doing something live sound wise where I really don't want to make a lot of mistakes. I do not trust these at all. But yeah, other than that, I mean that's mostly all I can say about live sound. It's a lot of troubleshooting. There's a lot of room for error, but the thing is, I mean, it just takes a little bit of knowing on signal flow, and as long as you know what signal flow, well, how the signal flows, I mean, then you know exactly how to run a live show, and it's really not that big of a deal, well, until you get to the bigger stuff. But um, just remember, I mean, it's just as long as you know where signal's flowing, you're good.